Alrighty. Well, at least we have a bit of an idea of what we are trying to accomplish. Always a plus. This is it, the big day! Did you get any sleep? Literally never. But thanks for asking. Yeah, I went to bed at about 1 a.m. or so. Oh? What time did you wake up? 3 a.m. Boom! That's the life I be living, Apollo. We on the same wavelength, man. Although, switch those, the AMs to PM. Then you basically got what I got going on my day-to-day. It's concerning. It's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. Yeah. We've also got this monstrosity. And the amazing Mr. Hat. I do like her hairstyle, though. It's very nice. Here's looking at you, kid. That's a weird reference. Good luck today, Apollo. Whoops, div. Oh, it's you. Hi. Hey, get any sleep? Mr. Wright. I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow that place makes fake piano playing at the Indocine Pasta... Oh, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Pasta joints seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's witness today is? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That's Sherman Tank of a mom? Nah, guess again. Ooh, that was a little savage. God damn. That's too bad. You know, speaking of moms, you need to find me a... Okay, alright. Pieces of the lore. Still trying to figure this one out. A new mommy one of these days, Daddy. It's barely morning and you're already at it, Juicy. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. There are definitely questions that are needing to be asked and I'm still not getting answers for. But we'll get there eventually. So, Mr. Wright, do you know who the prosecution's witness is? Alita Tiala, your client's fiancée. Well, that's convenient for us. She's going to be a witness? But that seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiancé? You have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today, that much is clear. Oh, it is going down. Well, not to worry. I got my panties back. Good for you, Trucy. Glad we're having this conversation. If I can't find a killer, I'll pull one out of there. Why would you do that? Why? What? Why would you do that? Okay, court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kataki. Defense is ready, Your Honor. I believe that's the first time Apollo's not screwed that lineup. Good for him. Prosecution is warmed up and it's a sold-out house. Oh, shut up. Very well. To recap, while yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party, guilty of panty snatching, we did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. The witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Herr Judge. And today I'd like to do something a little new age. I'd like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. It was already outside, you ding-dong. They were in a park. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon, the preparation for the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see. To his damn, I've never known how to say that word. But to his fiancée, basically. His betrothed? His fiancée, Herr Judge. Thank you. See, you can't get mad at me unless you're also getting mad at the judge, okay? And who'd get mad at the judge? He's too likable. His partner for life with no chance for parole. Very well. You may show the, lucky lady to the stand. Savage. Your name and occupation, Fraulein? Alita Tiala. My occupation is future wife. Ah, traditional values. I respect that. Yeah, I bet you do. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded underwater?
We'll be back to extreme underwater basket weaving right after these commercials.
Either that's a reference to a really old and niche internet video, or the internet video was a reference to something that I was entirely unaware of. I'm not entirely sure. Yet, you're here today as a witness for the prosecution? What up with that? To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. Honestly, another admirable trait. Something tells me that that's probably not going to be sticking around for too terribly long. Fraulein, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant, Walkie Kataki, confessed his plans for murder? Yes. The witness will please give her testimony to the court. Okay, here we go. Here we honk and go, people! It was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Walkie found out that Dr. Maractus had lied, he flew into a rage. He was gonna go on a rampage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And, well, you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Walkie could have done it. So the pistol did belong to the Kataki family then. Yes, with regards to this, an investigation is underway at the Kataki mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. And the bullet that took the victim's life, was it fired from the pistol the defendant procured? Yes, this has been proven. How can you prove something like that? Bullets carry marks from the barrel that fired them, called rifling marks. Rifling marks? Think of them as being a gun's fingerprints left on every bullet it fires. I think this is like the 4th game to tell me this, but still. And when did you first hear about Walkie's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. It's time to get examinatorial up in here. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Day came back. I don't see any obvious contradictions. I don't know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone... Let's press on this one. Hold it! Bang-a-lang! How can you say that for certain? How? Objection! What? Quit punching the wall. Ere forehead, you will refrain from badgering the Fraulein. I will throw any badgers that I so choose. It was the defendant, Walkie, was it? Who took the pistol from his... How do you not know the name of the Alright, whatever. We know this for a fact now. I suppose we do. So how could anyone else have used this pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? That does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? Could someone else have used that pistol? I mean... Officially speaking, this entire testimony, like, proves that, well, yeah, actually, somebody else very much could have. Well, based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who this other person with access was. Oopsie poopsie. I mean, she knew. Well, of course, I mean you, Miss Tiala. Yeah? Me? But why? You were quite clear when you told the court. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning. Objection! Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé and killed a man in cold blood on his behalf? Now that, I did not say. I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this, if you honestly think that's, okay. Let the record show, I don't believe that is the exact motive going on here, but if you honestly think that nobody at any point in time has murdered someone for the sake of love, are you high? Like, it does seem a bit unfathomable. Judge, are you... That is so incredibly common in reality and fiction. What are you on? I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure. But I think I would hesitate at murder. You hesitate? I hope you do more than yeah, okay, thank you, Apollo. But what if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim? We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. Well, that would put things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. Yeah, they seem pretty dang lazy and lax about this whole thing. I have evidence showing a connection between the witness, Miss Tiala, and the victim. That would be... is that the correct thing? Oh, no, this is the correct thing. Here's your stinking connection. That looks like a medical chart. Found inside the safe at the Maractus Clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. Huh? What? Miss Tiala, whatever. Why is your name on this chart? Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Tiala? Or your flop sweat? I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice. Huh? Our warm little fiancé just froze over. I was on staff at the clinic until half a year ago. Oh, now these are the expressions of somebody who definitely did something bad. It was boring, so I quit. That's all. Is there a problem with that? Miss Tiala, you testified that you had no connection to the victim. And I don't. Now? Now? I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess, you're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Bold of you to think Apollo's ever had a girlfriend. That might sound overly harsh, but I've never had one either, so, you know, whatever. Am I right? That's not true at all. Why, I embrace the ones I love, past flaws and all. Well, it's nice to hear that, Judge. There's no connection now doesn't fly in a court of law. Doesn't fly? She's one tough nut. Downright macadamia up in here. She probably feels right at home with the Katakis. You left your job at the Maractus Clinic, true. But you remain connected somehow. Very well, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that proves the witness is still connected to the Maractus Clinic. Something that says still connected. Do you think... I mean, I'm not confident about this. Well, I suppose I could see... Air forehead, this trail you think you have found, it doesn't lead to the truth. Nor to a long career in the legal profession. Yeah, I didn't really think that was gonna work. Perhaps you'll allow me to do the honors? Why not? It might be nice for a change. Most excellent. Let's rock. Man, that was a long road to walk for the sake of a penalty. Very well, Mr. Justice, try again. Yeah, okay, fair enough, my bad. Okay, so that's not going to work. Then what the heck? What specifically connects her to them? Huh. Oh, duh. Right idea, wrong execution, yet a goddamn again. Okay, these sandals were found in the Maractus Clinic lobby. For some reason, I completely blanked on the fact that those were literally in the building. Alright, they're yours, aren't they? Ah! Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fraulein, but your act isn't working. Eh? Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What's with you? I thought you were on my side. Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. Trust me, as a... No, okay, no. There was a joke I was gonna make, but I'm not going to. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all. Well, now we see your true colors. I was wanting to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted you to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow. I don't think he ever was, so how's that possible? This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found at the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there on the day of the murder. Well, there's little point in denying it. Very well. The witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Maractus Clinic that day? Give us the scoop. Give us the ice cream scoop. What you got? I did go to the clinic that day. My first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him. After all, I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. Well, when you outright just say, I'm not hiding any dark secrets, like, what are you on about, you absolute Cadorcus? You can't just say something like that. I wanted to tell him to be careful. As an old friend. Really? Okay. By mistake, you mean the mistake we heard about from the defendant? The botched operation? He was a timid, small man, but I never wished him harm. Man, I guess it's easy to smack talk somebody when they're dead. I just thought I should let him know, you know? That does make sense. Yes, but there is still one thing which does not. Now, what's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Then why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I mean, look how stylish they are. I would have worn those sandals home, too. Everybody's open about the sandals. So, why were the sandals left behind? Knack! He pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss Tiala? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which you wore home by mistake? Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Oh, it is nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation. Yeah, forehead. His forehead isn't even that big! God! That's such a weird-ass anime trope! What the? No fair! He's filling in the holes in her testimony. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Okay, well. I might have a bit of an idea here. Let's go and find out. Alright, I did go. Yes, it's true. I went to warn him. Yes, it's true. The doctor was a timid man, and also very ugly, and he smelt like fava beans. Alright, but yeah, why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. Really? You're really not, huh? Okay. I feel like I could just present this again, no? Objection! Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, this feels like a pretty dark-ass secret to me. This chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Maybe you remember it. I brought it up not too long ago. It's kind of weird that you wouldn't think I'd bring it up again. Yes? Why would this one chart be in that safe? Miss Tiala, you know why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Maractus didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad there, Doctor. And this is where you come in, Miss Tiala. The nurse who filed this chart was you, which means you knew about Walkie's failed operation. Interesting. And yet he didn't until, like, so much later? Are you kidding me with that mess? You were in the same position as Dr. Maractus. Kinda makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Huh? Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor is responsible for the chart's contents. Yeah, that's not really the point I'm trying to make here. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly. Too bad, little attorney. What do you mean, too bad? What are you, some kind of cadonkus? Oh, hello. Hello, what's all this? What's all this now? My bracelet's reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet tighten just now. Your bracelet? Are you having cardiovascular problems? Just like yesterday, like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. But I can't see anything, Apollo. Eh? Then what's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe... Yeah, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your senses, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine. Weh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know about that, Shusy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything. My guy, you've literally done this twice before. You think you don't have some kind of crazy power? Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Tiala's testimony. But we don't know what her nervous habit is. Well, then what do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo, with your eyes and your senses. Then it's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow touching it helps me focus. Well, let's give it a shot and bring down that testimony. Okay. Why would I go to the clinic now for a half-year-old chart? But we're gonna find out. Here we go! Okay. Maybe her hands. That'd make sense, right? Ooh, wait, hang on a second. Hang on. Hear that mess again for me real quick? Ah! Gotcha! Boom, shaka, baka, baka, boom! You got a little bit of wiggle going on over here. Why to go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It was quite clear, Miss Tiala. You have a nervous habit. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring. What? What? She was unsure. I saw it. Now. That's the key word. The chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. That's ridiculous. What? If that were the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it. Indeed. Which means something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. Oh, I get you. Right. Okay. I got her on the ropes now. I can feel it. Time to strike the killing blow with evidence. Miss Tiala, there's no use trying to hide it. The chart became a threat to you now because of this. The info was out in the open. A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Katakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup of this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this? Nothing. Why should I think anything? No, I would think you were positively beside yourself. Because you were afraid. You knew what Waki's chest x-ray would reveal. A full half year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free. When the chart came back to haunt you. Oh, she has feathers. She's a bird! Well, there you go. That's a step in the right direction. That's all, Your Honor. Dang. What just happened? Did the witness just admit to lying? I sensed it. No, you didn't. There was a great aura emanating from Air Forehead. From Apollo in general, or from his forehead? Because then that might imply he has like a third eye or something. Also, how would you even know? Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems. That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Maractus Clinic, but her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Katakis got a hold of this chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Miss Tiala? You guessed it. Alright, but she's got a calm head on her, which is usually never a good sign for these sort of things. Oh, I did it! I broke her testimony! Amazing, Apollo. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait! Hey, what are we waiting for, Miss Tiala? It's true, that chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all. I told him about Waki and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She hid the truth from us, this is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony. And we'll have a bit more cross-examination. I was so close. You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. Keep on her like a big old pile of glue or something. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left. Okay. Gonna go ahead and say nah to that mess. I can figure out something definitely took place. Objection! That's a honking lie. You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. Something happened in the doctor's office, all right. I disagree. Take a look at this. What's that? Looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually. Wow, all right. Now we're insulting each other now? All right. I'm sorry. Did you want me to comment on your weird-ass outfit? Because I easily could have. This bullet was found in the Maractus Clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss Tiala. Enough of this joking around. The police investigated that clinic. Objection! Clearly they did a terrible job. But this was stuck inside the doctor's safe. Inside the safe? I guess the police didn't check that far. Yeah, they're kind of buffoons. Objection! But there is a problem. How can you say that bullet was fired on that day? Objection! Easily, you ding-dong. Weren't you the one who explained rifling marks to us? Blah, 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 blah. The pistol was taken from the Kitaki mansion that day. If the marks on this bullet match the murder weapon, then that proves a firearm was discharged in that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, Air Forehead. Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately. Use science! 30 minutes later, I guess we all just kind of sat there and waited. A report arrives. The rifling marks on both bullets are identical. Well, then there you friggin' go. Well, it seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position? The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in that office on that day. And at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top secret chart. Do you think someone was threatening Dr. Maractus in order to open the safe? Mayhaps. Only one person was in a position to do such a thing. The only other person that knew anything of its value was in that thing. Our witness, Alita Tiala. What you got to say about that one? Order in the court! Mr. Justice, what are you... Where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? I sure am. And considering how often that happens in this courtroom, you really shouldn't be that surprised. Alita Tiala knew about Waki Kitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him, then the bullet finally reached its destination? What? That reminds me. Apparently the Kitakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money. Fortune, if you will. Nefarious! So she planned to marry him just to get her hands on this fortune? She seems to object to this accusation. Oh, no, he does, apparently. Oh, great. That's gonna be fun. You keep talking trash about my Alita, and I'll sue you, lawyer man. Me? Yeah, you said you'd abuse my Alita? I think you mean accuse. Same difference, it's really not. Well, you can't have her, she's mine. It was me, I shot that doctor, me. He left me to die, so I left him to die too. They're in that park. Waki, just cool down a sec. You keep your hands off my Alita or all. Oh, great. Great! The lady be giggling. Miss Tiala? I'm sorry, it's been so long since I've laughed so hard. Something funny? Waki, wake up and smell reality. Alita? The signature on the chart, the engagement. I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself, and it's come out. Alita. Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fraulein. Like the rankest of stanks. Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway. So, the family fortune is what you're really after. That's right. I wanted the money. No way! That's whack! I ain't trying to hear that. You don't have to try, she just said it. Should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question? Who, me? I believe you said you were going to abuse me. Accuse! Goddammit! There's a very important difference in words going on here. Of what crime, might I ask? What? Oh, I'm a bad girl, sure. I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the only one with he was the one with the pistol. He could have fired it into the safe after I'd already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but... what are you talking about? Trucy? You had the most to lose if that chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol, now did I? Well, you could have taken Waki's. You'd think he'd have mentioned that, no? All I've heard him say is, it was me, I shot him. Objection! That's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude in this lovely conversation. I don't think he's sorry at all. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What point? Certainly, the Fraulein wanted that chart. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then... wouldn't she have taken the chart? Oh. You see? That chart wouldn't have been left in that safe. you know what? That's actually a really solid point. He is completely right, actually. Huh. Miss Tiala? Yes. It's clear to the court that you are not a very good fiancé or person. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Maractus Clinic on the day of the crime. Give me the information! I demand it! Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You didn't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not. You went back later? That chart was dangerous, you understand. I need to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the chart then, could you? Later that night, Dr. Maractus was shot. I heard about the shooting, waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. Aha! That was you? Well, there you go then. Dang! Wow, we were incredibly lucky that we showed up when we did. This entire case would have been completely screwed otherwise. Someone's in there. A break-in! They left through that window. So you were the burglar. That was you two? If only I had one more minute. Then I could have opened that safe and gotten the chart. What? That's trespassing! And brazen at that. Oh, was this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. Yes, you can. I can also blame a girl for freaking green nail polish. It's ugly! They're gangsters, you know? In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination? Admitting the little crime to avoid the big one, huh? Okay. Let's take a gander here. Okay, yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't have any proof I sold that pistol, do you? I don't think I do, no. And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not. I find that an interesting thing to say. Can we talk about that a little bit? Just a wee bit here? The doctor was shot in the right temple, yeah? So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? I mean, if we gotta. If the killer shot from this location, the bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the right temple. Yeah, we heard testimony on this yesterday. At the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. Judge, no, we already established that's not the case. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look and was shot. Objection! Wrong, Judge. Come on now. But the testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime. He's going to be known for that for the rest of his life. But he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler shouted from that location, the bullet couldn't hit his right temple. Silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning? I skipped breakfast, actually. Do you remember, Trucy? I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. Really? Just a glass of milk? I mean, that's something, but you really should get some food in you, girl. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken. Objection! Okay, well, that's a load of hooey. But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken. Objection! Then why don't you show us, Air Forehead? Show you? What? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness, Panties Guy, was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim? But wait, if the witness was standing there, how could anyone shoot the victim in his right temple? It's funny because he's dead. I merely laid out the facts for us. It's up to the one possessing the shiny forehead to show us. If you can, that is. Waki Kataki was standing at the killer mark, Wesley Stickler at the witness mark, and of course Pal Maractus was at the victim mark. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? Well, I have an idea. Yeah. As the facts stand now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Apparently, Mr. Justice does. And honestly, yeah, no, hang on. The facts all line up on this one, too. Let's hear it. I mean, it does, but it also totally doesn't. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim? Objection! What? It's time to raise the roof. And the stakes. Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? But what if they were a bit more terrifying? Could that animation be like 45% smaller? Because like it goes on forever. Anyway, cool, you want me to lose even more. Gotcha. Double penalty? Air Forehead wishes to take us in a new direction? Then he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time! Are you sure, Apollo? I don't really have any other choice. The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. If we believe that, and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when he shouted, there's only one place the killer could have been. Now, the how and the why, I don't have any idea whatsoever, but there's still a lot of things we don't know. The killer shot the victim from, I can only assume, inside the noodle cart. I believe we all owed a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Tiala. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. We know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Sure, we chortled and guffawed at his panty-snatching ways, but his words rang true regardless. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw the two men. He shouted just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes! Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, toward the noodle stand. Order! Order! So, you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand? Objection! What do you object to? Let's think about this a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim, Dr. Maractus, came to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him. I admit it's weird and I don't know why that was happening, but it's the only explanation that makes sense. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along. Objection! There's something we should worry about before that. Let's do this one step at a time, okay? I'll figure that out when I have to. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place? Yeah, we never did figure that one out. Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? I believe Apollo literally just said that. Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in that stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in the stand? I believe I do? Yeah, I do. I got it right here. I can even prove that it was her. Yeah, intriguing. Let's see what you've got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. More shoes! The Maractus Clinic. And they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in a trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene. right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss Tiala, your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is proof you were inside that noodle stand! Get hit with a drop! Nice!
Objection!
Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith? What?
Objection!
Observe the diagram? A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path.
Objection!
Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell to the ground? That's stupid.
Objection!
What are you, what? That's just dumb. Yeah, what is your argument? What are you on? One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with the tool. Oh, so we're just ignoring the fact that you said a stupid thing? Okay. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with the tools of the noodle-making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. You have a point. Could someone have hidden in that stand? Apollo, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be, you know, maybe jettisoned and piled up inside the Maractus Clinic. You could literally go there and see them still there. Well, Mr. Justice, it's really weird that nobody took note of the massive pile of noodle bowls in the clinic. But, alright. Do you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand? I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear space in that stand. Bada bada boom! This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Eldoon Noodles noodle stand. Yeah, what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maractus Clinic. A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic? Mr. Eldoon was very clear about the bowls. Well, I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there, too. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Maractus Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala. I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than that spoiled brat's pickup lines. I do believe that, you know, those are probably very bad, but no, these are all truthfuls. I'd like to remind the witness of her current status. This court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me an innocent, I'll show you a fairy tale. Wow, I'm sorry that you live such a miserable existence that you honestly believe that. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maractus. More fairy tales! This whole trial is a fairy tale! Then please, pull us back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Duractus Mactus? Sure, Dr. Maractus pulling that stand that night. And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case. Yeah, I gotta admit, I don't have any idea. That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting the chart fall into the Kataki family's hands. Ugh, come on. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Katakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. That seems like a load of hooey. You knew about the botched operation, so you tried to get rid of the chart to save yourself. I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that Brat got his health checkup report, and that he was coming to settle the score. I see. Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth or it's over. Oh, well, thank you for that incredibly subtle thing there. All right. So, look for it, some kind of thing. That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting the chart fall into the Kataki family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Katakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. Okay. So I clearly need to perceive something here. Is it possible for me to back away? Okay. Considering, I feel like this might be it. No, I mean, not this, but I mean this animation. So I had no intent of ever letting the chart fall into the Kataki family's hands. I don't think there's anything I can pull out of that, so... It's a new animation, so it just kind of makes sense. Alright, let's go ahead and perceive. Let's take a gander here. The hand is the most obvious thing here. Okay. Alright. Come on. I saw a little bit of a wiggle there. Hang on. Let's work with that, why don't we?
Gotcha!
We good? All I did was talk. And lie? Show me proof! I'm pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. A little slip in confidence and then give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Tiala. All I did was talk to him, you claim. Yet you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words. My twitch? What are you talking about? I don't use twitch. You have a habit of scratching that area of your neck around the edge of your scarf. What? This is working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious actions tell the truth she won't say. Habits and lies, 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth. Don't look at me like that. I told you the truth. It seems that when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? Seems that nervous habits are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can't hide behind your scarf, Miss Tiala. Something happened between you and the victim in the Maractus Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happens. Oh. Yeah, okay. Is that it, though? Okay, if I have a piece of proof, and it needs to be something from the office, well, that's the only thing I haven't used, and a red stain on the cord, then... Man, that's... I mean, I get there was, you know, this is a game that features a lot of murder, but if this is how it went down, this is actually kind of dark. What's that? You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord. Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I can come up with a plausible explanation of this lamp state. Well, spit it out! This talking in circles nonsense is killing me. Very well. The answer is very simple, Miss Alita Tiala. Please remove your scarf. Oh, hello! Alright then. I believe we might be on to something here.
Objection!
This is a trial to determine what happened in that park. And we seem to have drifted off target.
Objection!
Or maybe, shut your gobber, I'm on to something here. We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting. As soon as the witness removes her scarf. And the Eurobeat stop playing. I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove my clothing. But yes we can, Miss Tiala. I'm afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven. What? You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf. No. No! Do it! Do it, you nerd! I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss Alita Tiala? Whoa. Ugh. Your neck. That isn't what I think it is. Something did happen that night at the Maractus Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took. Even if you had to steal your fiancé's pistol to do it. But wait. Looking at this lamp and the witness's neck, it looks like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night, was this witness. Specifically, you tried to threaten Dr. Maractus and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Maractus clinic. Not 100% sure how that works, but okay. Order in the court! Will someone please tell me what really happened? I told you the truth already! I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maractus. With a gun! That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you. Looks like my clinic's seen its last patient. We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me. So you can save your own skin? What? I know what you're up to. You want in with the family. And if they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw. But if I'm going down, I'll want some company. You! And what happened next? He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. Then he took that cord. Neck attacks are never something I can stomach too well. Pal Maractus was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out. Oh! Okay. I think I can put the pieces together now. So, you were the victim. And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick. I mean, I feel like the blood on her neck would be a bit more of an obvious thing, but okay. I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There. Are you happy now? I was out cold. Almost killed. Did you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand? But how could I? Yeah. Wait. Why are you so shocked, Apollo? I feel like this is actually good for us. Well, one thing is clear. We now know what really happened at the Maractus clinic. And it would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame himself. I'm sorry. I get so nervous just thinking of it. It's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. Can I go home now? You bear some responsibility for events that day, true. Yet, if you were also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Miss Tiala. When did this happen? Suddenly everyone's sympathizing with her. I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss Tiala? Very well. This finishes the cross-examination of this...
Objection!
Yeah, could you please stop doing that? Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now, we rock! What? Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. What? Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way? Prosecutor Gavin? Pal Maractus choked Alita Tiala. She fell unconscious. But what happened next? He's right, there is more we don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in the noodle stand? Alita Tiala, half dead, Dr. Maractus pulling that stand, and a bullet fired from inside the noodle stand. What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night. I thought I had. It makes sense. I mean, it would make sense to me that basically he gets done choking a woman to the point of unconsciousness. And we've already established that he's a quack and doesn't really know what the hell he's doing. So maybe he just assumed she was dead and decided that he had to get rid of her. And so he was just kind of pulling her around and yeah, wouldn't that all make sense? And then eventually she would have just woken up and was all like, you tried to murder me. And then she would have murdered him. It all makes sense. Miss Alita Tiala, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet. You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? Oh, well, only because you literally did it. Oh, sorry about that. I want to blame you for crimes you committed is what I want. You too, Prosecutor Gavin. Me? Fraulein, I only wish to know the truth. Alright, well, you do have some good to you now, don't you? You're just really, really aggressively punchable. But whatever, if you're on my side, you're on my side. I'll take what I can get. Well, let's go back over what we've learned up till now. On the day of the murder, Walkie saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. So, he took a pistol from the family stash, with the intent to give Dr. Maractus some of his own medicine. And Miss Tiala heard about this from Walkie, so she went to the Maractus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature. But then, something happens. Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold. But what about Dr. Maractus? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita Tiala. Perhaps he thought to death. What did he do after his crime? I was just knocked out, not dead. From the state of his clinic and the scene at the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Air Forehead, care to guess? God forbids you do anything, huh? Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maractus do? Maybe he did think he killed Alita Tiala. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? Evidence specifically about it? I assume it would be the noodle stand then, yeah? Dump her in the stand and then off you go. As his next move, Dr. Maractus stole Guy Eldoon's noodle stand. It was right outside the clinic after all. Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand? It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belonged inside the stand? I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls? Why did he have the bowls, Alita? Why did he have the bowls? Maybe because the stand was heavy? Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Wait, you don't mean... I do. Boom, boom, boom. Dr. Maractus did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss Tiala! My corpse?! Dr. Maractus panicked. He thought he'd killed you. His next move would be to dispose of the body. That's crazy talk. You're all crazy. We're crazy. You're the one who murdered a man. Then let's think about it logically. The doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, who should he run into but the defendant, Walkie Kataki?
Objection!
I question your logic. What's this, Prosecutor Gavin? The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right. He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stands.
Objection!
That doesn't even remotely make sense. Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end unless the park was his destination? What? Apparently, the defense has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Maractus was heading with the stands. I mean, if I had to wager a bit of a guess, show us on the diagram to where exactly was the victim dragging that stand. I mean, given how much time he had to work with, kind of makes sense he would just try to toss her into the the lake, right? There, that's a river, whatever, same difference. Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. The perfect place to dispose of a body. He was gonna throw me into that river? He didn't have many other options, Fraulein. Unless he could find an open sewer grate, I guess. I believe this clears up all of the remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita Tiala. And then, the denouement, I don't know. Wesley Stickler of panty snatching walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts. In that instant, it all came together. Gonna get hit with the bang bang. So, I shot him. You were the only one who could have stolen Walkie's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss Tiala? Nice work. You mean, I'm right? I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming up a story to get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming! Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so so sure he's making it up. Give us another reason. Why was Why do I keep saying Diractus? Dr. Maractus pulling that stand through the park. Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak. Where of what? I can't believe she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin? Must I always be the one to point out Air Forehead's errors? I swear to God, I am so tired. Maybe there really was something. I believe the Fraulein speaks of Air Doctor's car. His car? That's right. The Maractus Clinic had that big garage, in which sat a green sports car, was it? Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car. And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal that stand. And a defense without a case. I have an idea! You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken. What an excellent counter-argument, Fraulein. Too bad you're quite wrong. Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy. Daddy? That's right. That night, the car that hit Mr. Wright was that green sports car. Oh, yes, I'd nearly forgotten about it. Afterward, he drove it back to that garage. It ran fine. Oh, I know. I was right. I was so right to pay attention to that. It was so random that they would make that a point to tell us all about it. Yep, I got it. So why didn't he use his beloved sports car? A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead. I'm really actively getting angry at the fact that he keeps pointing that out. No, don't worry, Apollo, we got this. I already know what this is all about. Order in the court! Well, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Maractus use his car to carry the body? Is that a groan of surrender I hear? No, it's a groan of you're stupid. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. Everything I've learned? Mr. Justice, this contradiction cast doubt on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. The defense will explain to us what happened that night. Someone else stole the stand. He carried the body in the car. The car? No, the car didn't run. I'm sticking with it, yo. I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Maractus couldn't use his car. Now you're making even less sense than usual. Not according to my information, Miss Tiala. Put one and one together and the explanation is simple. If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence? Show us proof why the car wouldn't run that night. We talking about the dang old panties again. Let's go! Let's see. Panties? Again? It always comes back to panties. All sorts of things come out of my panties. I bet they do, Trucy. Even the truth. Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties. The latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid. In the Maractus Clinic garage. What? The snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in the court remembers where he hid them. Why, weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin! I learned it by watching you! Bounce. So you were here investigating? And it was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost. Your hog? My motorcycle won't start. Clogged exhaust pipe. Too bad. Looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it could break just from that. Cars, motorbikes, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust and they won't run. Fine. How interesting. While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatchers snuck into the Maractus garage. From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start. What? That's why Dr. Maractus had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of. Okay, seriously? Okay, cool. That was stupid. Why did you even do that? What was the point of that? That contributed nothing. Well, Miss Tiala, this wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think. So it does. Where am I? So dark. Can't see. Cramped. Pain. My throat's burning. What's your problem? You, Doc, I know what you did. Eh? Walkie? You lied to me, so you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man. Wait, let me explain. Fine, I'll give you your last request. Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me. No, he'll ruin everything. I have to stop him. Hey, wait a second, actually. Why does she still have the gun? Unless she passed out clutching it, wouldn't it have made like what? Unless Maractus threw the gun into the stand with her? But why would he do that? I guess maybe he wanted to dispose of it too, but if that's the case, how did she see it? She just said it was dark. She couldn't see. Nah, it's minor, but whatever. Cease this at once, you two! Bang! Oh yeah, well, would you look at that? Funny. This isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Yeah, I'm kind of aware. Oh well, too bad. Part of a very rare breed of murder doers that actually didn't have a massive freakout in the end. I mean, I guess there was that one time when her weird feather thing started flapping, but other than that, interesting. There's still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand? In the silence after the shot, I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He went to use a public phone to inform the police. Which is when I made my escape. Which is when you left that slipper print. Dr. Maractus didn't bother taking my slippers off. He also threw the gun into the cart too, which was weird in retrospect. I threw them out after I stepped in the paint though. That was your mistake. No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. Eh? I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anyone would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you. Well, screw you too, lady. I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Miss Alita Tiala doing? She confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who just lost. I think he already knew. He'd figured out she was the killer a while ago. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. He lost, but I didn't exactly win either. Something the matter there, forehead? Your hair is stupid. Looks like it's time to announce a verdict. I did what I set out to do. Court is adjourned. Another one down. Great job, Apollo. You did it. Yeah, we did somehow. Walkie's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to thank. Hey, attorney man! You're gonna pay for what you did to my Alita, Holmes. Or to blame, I guess. You give my Alita back! Stupid pointy-head attorney with a death wish! Enough, Walkie! Monsieur! Ah, Mr. Kataki! It's high time you opened your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? You're old! And a man! Old man! I think it's about time you opened yours. Giving up the life trying to become some kind of businessman. Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie. I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out. If not in jail, wouldn't that be a happy ending? Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kataki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Waki. Oh, Waki, Apollo has something to tell you. I do? Way to put me on the spot. Was it? Show him the reason why, Apollo. Why is Mr. Kataki trying to become a businessman? Well, this would make the most sense to me, yeah?
Take that!
Think about it, Waki. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. She doesn't mean. You aren't really, are you? I searched the globe, and I found one. A doctor who can take that bullet out of you, Waki. But it's an expensive procedure. Man, you got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Waki. I want to help you, and I want to do it clean. What? Those were eyebrows?! Please understand, Waki. I thought he just had sunken-in eyes. Dad. Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for... Waki? Listen good, old man. One day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer. Waki? No, it's as it should be. Mr. Kataki. I liked him more without the puppy dog eyes. I'm glad to have met you. I'm not so good with words. But I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you. Who? Me? I don't think... Someday, I'll bake you one of our latest. The Kataki Lime Pie? He's opening a pie shop? So long. And he was gone. Well, let's head back, Apollo. To the Right Anything Agency. Hey, since when do I work at your agency? Since forever. Deal with it, Apollo. Aw, we make a good team. Don't just stand there. Let's get going. Why not? She did help me out. And there's a few questions that still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. And my bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. Though I can't say I care much for what her father has become. I choose to put my faith and trust in Phoenix. Everything has to make perfect sense in the end of things. It has to. Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first. Where? Why, to claim our reward from Mr. Eldoon. Ah, salty noodles. Right. You got a stand back already? Oh, and after that, you can come see my show. With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hats. Well, at least I didn't get jump scared by the thing this time. Oh, it's special, all right. Please, anything but him. How do you make the puppet take your hat? That's just neat. But all right. Another case closed. Not bad at all. Now what the heck are we gonna... Turnabout Serenade? Serenade? Who's serenading? I guess we'll see soon enough. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I'll see you next time.